Hi, everybody. It's me, Karen Holton, and I've had a new development in my career as an exopolitical ambassador, and I'm quite excited to tell you about this. So for those of you that don't know, on my YouTube channel in Odyssey, I've got quite a few videos posted about my adventures with the Intergalactic Resettlement Program. I know it sounds really out there, but this is indeed my true experience. And so that I was getting downloads, and I was going off planet, off world, into what I would call the big ship. And I had many adventures. I was taken while I was asleep at night. I don't remember physically traveling there. And as time went by, it started to make more sense to me. But anyway, I have made quite a few podcasts about my adventures off world. So please feel free to check out my channels and watch some of those videos for those of you who are interested. Now, again, that was between 2013 and 2015. And the download that I received, which was quite beefy, took me almost 2 years to unpack, is how I was able to bring to you the Quantum Health Transformation Program. So I'll speak more about that on another podcast because I want to keep this brief. But for those of you who've been following me for some time, you would know that back in February of 2020, I was taken again. It was just brief, and that's when I found out about the alien implant remedy program, or procedure, I should say, that I downloaded, and I was able to put together some products to help people with implants. And basically, it energetically and without any harm helps you to shed your own technologies that aren't actually yours, that shouldn't be in your DNA, shouldn't be in your body, shouldn't be in your etheric body, anything like that. So that was pretty excited. I got together with Chris Matthew of Forbidden Knowledge News, and we sold quite a few of the implant removal products. And also I had another product that's very similar that's called Evil Be Gone. By the way, if you want to check out more information about these, they're definitely available on my website, www.karenholtonhealthcoach.com. That's KarenHolton, healthcoach.com. And there's oodles and oodles of free content there. The whole Quantum Health Transformation Program, which could take you as much as a year to even get through, that whole program is absolutely free and no strings attached. It's all available through my website. So anyway, then getting on, since then, I was involved with the Natural and Common Law Tribunal for Public Health and Justice. And I spent almost a year working with them. And my mind got just so wrapped up in the current affairs of the world that I got a little bit burnt out, took a little break, and then got back to doing my Quantum Guide show and appearing on other shows and producing more content. Well, if about 2 weeks ago, I didn't get a huge information download. It happened while I was sleeping. It was more like, it wasn't a dream because it was very, very real. And I just finished putting out that podcast about a week ago, and it's fairly short. So please do go back and watch it. It was definitely a message from my angelic guides. Now I'm able to communicate with, participate with, communicate with, and do jobs for various different kinds of non-human beings and platforms. And some of them I don't even clearly understand. I just give you the messages and the experiences as I experience them in the best way that I can through language, which is really a barrier. All of my communications with off-world beings or interdimensional beings is always done on a psychic level. Sometimes I communicate during the day and it just happens in my mind's eye and in my I guess, imaginative realm is where they are able to access me fairly easily. I've been doing this all my life, so it's not like I don't even know why I've been chosen, but obviously there's a reason because this keeps happening. So anyway, the download I got about a week ago was warning me to warn people on Earth that certain medical procedures will actually be forms of thought control. So people will no longer be heirloom, which means God created with our original DNA, because the new procedures that are out actually modify human DNA and any kind of DNA, and it's no longer natural. It becomes, you become literally genetically modified, and you are different than the way you were before you took the procedure. So that was really important. I was really glad to get that information. I got it out to a lot of platforms, and a lot of people got to hear that message. So I didn't think really much more would come of it. And then lo and behold, this week, wow, I've been having these huge experiences. Again, these have been happening while I'm asleep, although I can communicate and get clarification as I think of it during the day, but the actual events were happening while I was sleeping. I know they're not dreams because they're very technical, very vivid. They are kind of conceived of the whole concept through my imaginative technologies that I'm born with, but also I'm able to just see things like kind of like watching a movie. Now, when it comes to dreams, I generally don't remember them. They're often the ones that I do remember. They're very disconnected, disjointed. They don't make a lot of sense, and they're highly symbolic. Whereas these experiences that I've been having are very technical. They don't seem to be symbolic. They seem to be fairly literal, although the concepts are delivered in the abstract. And then I have to downstep them and figure out how I'm going to tell other people in ways that they can understand, and the information in ways that they can best utilize it. So it happened a couple of nights ago, and I woke up. These are so dramatic that they wake me up. And I clearly remember exactly what the program was, what was going on. And when I go back to sleep, it continues where I left off. Anyway, so what I was shown was a way that time and space actually exists. Because we're limited in our senses. We're not really, but we've been dummied down, and we've been controlled throughout our lives in our education system, religious systems, and yada, 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 so that we don't realize the power and the potential that we have, and we don't make use of some of these, what I would call talents or gifts. So, because of that, this is information that we've forgotten. So I'm not telling you anything new. I'm just hopefully explaining it in ways that you can understand it and you can make use of it in your own life. So anyway, this was very interesting. I was shown how time and space are actually linked in a spiral. And so what happens is, rather than us moving on a linear line from here and different stages going to here, it's all a huge spiral, which actually is collapsed on itself. Well, not really collapsed, it's just how I'm seeing it in my imagination and how I was given it in the dream state, of a giant spiral. And so what happens is, we're actually repeating the same history over and over and over again, thinking that it's different spaces in time and space, but it's not. It's all the same. So the costumes might change, the language might change, the way our societies are set up might change, but actually they're all the same. And it's just a way of creating an illusion of time and space for us as physical beings to operate in, and to move through, and to learn our lessons, and to hopefully correct things that could use correcting, quite frankly. So that was the one vision that I was shown. And I'm not really sure how to downstep that into terms that you would understand, because I haven't fully come to understand it. But it was so clear, and it was so vivid, and it was so big, and it left me kind of going, for a couple of days. And I thought, well, because I don't really know how to present this information, I'll hold off on telling you folks. But then what happened last night made me decide, no, I better get on here and give you guys heads up on what I'm getting, what's coming to me, and hopefully you can figure out some of it, or maybe it might give you an aha moment. And eventually I'll be producing more information as it becomes more clear to myself. So, as some of you know, I have always said I would never deny anybody else's experience, because of what I personally have experienced is pretty much a walk on the wild side. I can't claim that other people are not telling the truth, because I know I'm telling the truth, even though it sounds pretty out there. So I give people the respect and dignity that they require and should get for their own personal experiences, and value the information that they're giving to me. So we've heard so much information lately about Arcturians and about Syrians and about Greys and reptilians, and I know nothing about any of these beings, because the beings that I've been in contact with, that I've visited and that I've spent time with, are aboard an enormous ship, which I call the home ship, or my home away from home, or the big ship. And it's intergalactic. I don't know exactly what the coordinates are. I don't even know exactly where it sits or stays or exists, because I'm actually convinced it might even be somewhere on the cusp between our 3D reality and interdimensional reality, because those beings are one step ahead of us in their evolution and in their development. They're not that far ahead of us. So I have been dealing with them, and I haven't had much to do with all these other groups, but I listen to what other people have to say about them, and I appreciate them giving the input, and I give them the respect of valuing or validating their experiences. It's kind of cold in here, so if I'm shivering a bit, it's kind of that. It's in Alberta, and we get winter early and it stays long here. But anyway, so last night, wow, here I was, 1 minute fast asleep in my own little bed, and the next minute I was being introduced to these beings that I've heard of, that are from our section of, or our star cluster. A star cluster is bigger than a solar system and smaller than a galaxy, and so it's divided up kind of into clusters. And when I'm doing work as an exopolitical ambassador, I'm always seated around a big round circular table. And in the center is what I'm guessing is a holographic representation of the lesson that I'm being taught. Generally, that is what school for me looks like. And so here I was again, sitting around this table. I was aware of other beings there, but I wasn't really clear on who they were or what they were doing, because the main event is what was shown to me in a holographic representation. So I guess they figured it was time for me to get familiarized with some of these local beings. Now, I don't know exactly which beings are from which star systems. You know, they could be from Sirius, they could be from Orion, they could be from the Pleiadians. Like, I'm not really sure at this point, but I got to tell you about these people that I met. Oh my God. And I don't think they were really there physically. I think I was given, because a lot of this stuff that happens at night is done etherically. So I think I was given a holographic representation, but I was really shocked at what I found, because although a lot of people are giving messages about what these beings want or have in store for us, and there's quite a bit of artistic rendition, I was not prepared for how gallant and how amazingly beautiful these beings were. They were full of majesty and pageantry. I was really surprised. Not that I should be, because obviously they're further along than us in the fact that they live peacefully and that they are love-centered, that they have all this technology, this incredible harm none technology. But I wasn't prepared for what I saw. So when I saw the tall blue beings that had bald heads and long necks, they were draped in these beautiful fabrics. They kind of scintillated and kind of were shiny and were draped, more than wearing an outfit. They were draped in this fabric, so beautiful. And they carry themselves with a confidence that you rarely see in human beings, rarely, if ever. And it was just, they were majestic, and they came across as very intelligent and very civilized. And I kind of went, wow. And then the next being I saw did look reptilian to me, how I would describe it as being reptilian. And this being had on kind of a uniform, but it was more similar to what you would see in the 17th century France or Spain. And it was really rich fabrics, thick, rich fabrics and leather. But again, the majesty and the dignity and the amazing presence of these beings just blew me away. I was not at all prepared for this. Unfortunately, all I ever hear about reptilians is they're living deep beneath the earth, they're eating people and they're eating our babies and all this gross stuff. But that was not what I was seeing. What I was seeing were very majestic and very cultured beings, different in appearance, humanoid, but difference in appearance perhaps than us, but definitely very, very beautiful. I didn't see anybody in jumpsuits. I didn't see anybody in Star Trek uniforms. I didn't see anything like that. So then I was shown some other beings, and it was all very similar. The way they were dressed was very, very differently. And the nature of the fabrics or leathers or material that their outfits were made out of was just the highest, most beautiful quality. I would compare it to what a king or queen would wear, in a traditional setting. Very, very beautiful and very rich. And there was no threat to me. I felt no threat whatsoever. It was somehow an introduction where I was being introduced to them. I guess you would classify them like heads of state or other ambassadors. I'm not sure. And I was having them introduced to me. So I only saw maybe 6 different kinds of beings, but it was always the same. They looked differently. Some of them had, of course, most of them had heads a bit bigger than us. I think we're pinheads. I think we've been dummied down to be pinheads. I don't know. But the skulls were bigger, but they were very clean and very well groomed and just presented so beautifully, so majestically. I was really surprised. I thought, well, I better get on here and record this for you folks so that you can hear about what's happened. So it looks like I'm back having intergalactic and or interstar cluster and or intersolar system. I don't know. This is pretty amazing even to me. I know it's going to be unbelievable to a lot of you, and I'm okay with that because I don't know. I'd have trouble with it myself if I hadn't been initiated formally. So that's about all I want to say for today. Please do check out my other podcasts. I have the Quantum Guide Show, where I interview what I call awakened masters. Now, none of these people are perfect, but they've all woke up to a different reality, and they're passing on their wisdoms, their talents, and their suggestions to you. So it's a wonderful show. I also have quite a few episodes of Convergence, which kind of ties together Earth politics, intergalactic politics, or what we call exopolitics, and also spiritual transformation, because there's an interplay. And so I'm kind of called it Convergence because it's the converging point. Now, I am no longer making new episodes of Convergence because I've pretty much covered everything that needed to be covered within that series. I might be back, I'm not sure. And then, of course, I've got all my other freelance videos. So please check them out, share them with your friends. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. But I'm also asking you to please go over to Odyssey and follow me there, because that's where you're going to get my uncensored content. I have about 900 subscribers on YouTube, and I don't want to let you down, not at all. And that's why I'm going to keep producing videos on YouTube. But for my backup channel and for my uncensored content, which means videos that YouTube has removed, I guess I'm getting out of YouTube jail soon. I'm allowed to post, but I won't get my strike removed for probably another 2 weeks or 3 weeks. But anyway, doing the best I can with what I have. Anyway, so that's about it. I just wanted to fill you in because things are happening so fast now. It looks like I'm having contact again. I'm as surprised as anybody. I kind of thought it was with a specific purpose back when I had my initial experiences. And by the way, time is very different depending on where you live and who you are. And so my experiences happened over about a 3-month period of time back in 2013 to 2015. The dates are a little off for me because of a whole bunch of things, including a botched surgery, which resulted in a bit of brain issues that I've had to sort out and heal for myself. But it seemed like it was about 3 months of our Earth time. Every single night I was off doing exopolitical ambassador work, or doing intergalactic work, or doing training for intergalactic work. It was amazing, but it felt like more like 3 years of experience. And I've been documenting it as I remember things, as I understand things better. And I'm actually working on a book that I hope to have out soon. And then again, a year ago, actually a year and a half ago, I had a very brief experience in February 2020, and then boom, now I'm having them again. So I'm actually really delighted because it's such positive news, it's such wonderful information. But I think what I want to say at this point is time and space are not what we think they are. They're very much linked together in the now, and we can access different parts of time and space without having to really go anywhere or without a lot of energy. And the thing about meeting some of these, I don't know, brothers and sisters from our star cluster, it was great because it really helped to reduce the fear. It helped me to realize that although some of those scary stories might be true, in my experience, they're not true at all. These were noble beings. These were beings that were worthy of being representatives of other humanoid races. I think we're actually part of the same species, but we're different races, different families, that kind of thing. I think our source comes from the same. Anyway, so that's all I have for you today, and I hope you're having a great week. I hope you're not taking things too seriously out there, because 99.99999% of that is illusion. And we're very powerful beings, and we can do all kinds of neat and cool things. Let's keep working together. Let's keep supporting each other. Let's keep having each other's backs. Let's not fight and fall down rabbit holes of division. Let's just be the best that we can be and turn things around by our own power. And we've got tons and tons of help. We've got all the ET help, but we've also got the spiritual realms, interdimensional realms. We've got ultra terrestrials that have been with us since the beginning of our creation. And there's just so much to be happy about and to be excited about and to be interested in. So I love you so much. Hope you're having a great week. And I'll be back and in touch soon. Take care, everybody.